Hello, I'm Meghan Schiller from KDKA-TV News, and this is your KDKA News Now update. I've got your top headlines and the latest weather forecast. Pittsburgh police say they have found that SUV that allegedly hit a small child in the city's Hill District. They say charges are coming. Chris Hoffman has the latest on the investigation and how the child's doing.
A daycare on Webster Avenue captured this video of the hit and run Thursday afternoon.
I can't even imagine. I couldn't hit an animal and keep going.
Elijah is hit after running onto Webster Avenue. He's thrown several feet by the SUV and lays motionless in the middle of the street. Daycare owner Jackie Wright couldn't believe what she saw as she gave the video to police.
It was horrific. We seen the baby flap in the air and drag down the street.
In the video, you can see the driver stop while a child comes running to Elijah's help. The SUV moves up a little, stops again before taking off out of frame, while Elijah is dragged to the sidewalk for aid.
Stop! Get help! Just stop and talk to people. We need help. You need help the baby.
People who live on Webster Avenue have been calling for changes, including Wright. She says people drive recklessly and there's no care for the speed limit.
80, 90 miles an hour, almost like floating off this air. So we have been petitioning, trying to get help up here.
The city confirms it's received requests for traffic calming measures in that area. They have to review them and see what, if anything, can be done.
When we get those type of requests, DOMI does go out and collect data and say, okay, does it meet the requirements for a type of traffic calming project?
If it does meet the requirements, it's then compared with the needs of other neighborhood projects. Wright wants to see something be done before something like this happens again.
Tomorrow marks 1 year since the East Palestine train derailment, and so many people whose lives were affected say they are still dealing with the fallout. Lauren Linder talked with some residents. Some of them are still not back in their homes. She wanted to find out how this past year has been for them.
1 year after a train carrying hazardous materials derailed a few yards behind me here in East Palestine, people tell me not much has changed. They're still not getting straight answers from Norfolk Southern or officials. Their lives were turned upside down, and they have no clear idea what their futures hold.
We had to leave our home because it was chemically contaminated, and we knew it was going to kill us, and now we have nowhere to go. And it's not our fault.
An emotional Juja Janice 12 months later. This hotel room in Cranberry, Butler County is now her home, where she and her 10-year-old son are surrounded by belongings they were able to salvage.
Everything had this Drano smell to it, and immediately it was nauseating. I had to throw out baby pictures. You know, I didn't want to do that. Please come.
They lived in East Palestine, Ohio, just 1 mile away from where a Norfolk Southern train derailed, bursting into flames and releasing toxic chemicals into the air. Within hours, her eyes and throat were burning. She was nauseous, and her son with asthma woke up coughing.
Obviously, there's something. This is, I don't know what this is. We need to get out of here.
For months, they hopped from hotel to hotel after escaping the vent and burn of vinyl chloride. Her son eventually testing positive for that chemical after getting a rash on his arms and face. To this day, Janice says those results are downplayed.
I was so upset. I was like, there's no way you're telling me there's nothing here. I wasn't sick before. The smell didn't exist before.
Why is it some days I lose the ability to use my right leg?
Linda and Russell Murphy also tested positive, only to hear doctors list off a number of possible reasons other than the hazards on the train.
We smoke. We don't. We drink. Very minimal. You must eat a lot of onions. You eat onions. Yeah, just like apples.
The Murphys remain in their home nearly 3 miles away from the site of the wreckage, but less than a mile from Leslie Run, where they say an oily film is sometimes still visible on the surface. They use bottled water to drink and cook with, but use well water to bathe and do laundry. Independent researchers found high levels of dioxins in their soil, and they say their health challenges continue, from blurred vision to numbness and mobility issues. All the while, Norfolk Southern and the EPA continue to say the air is safe to breathe and the water is safe to drink.
So we go from being told one thing to another. Well, if it was never there, if it was never a hazard, if it was never a risk, why all this remediation?
You lose sleep at night, and you wonder, by staying here in the home you built, the security that you felt, is it smart to stay?
They're not ready to make these decisions, but at this point, they find it hard to trust anyone.
I think that they have conditioned us well enough to know we will not get our questions answered.
Listing off promises they say haven't been fulfilled and necessities they haven't received. Proper indoor cleaning, lifelong health care and medical monitoring, reimbursement for losses, along with funds for permanent housing.
Our lives have been completely on hold in this limbo at Norfolk's mercy.
Until the other day, Janice was under the impression that Norfolk Southern would stop paying for her hotel on February 9th. KDKA reached out to the freight company. In a statement, a spokesperson said differently, that the center continues to provide her with financial assistance arising from her relocation situation. A response that puzzles Janice all the more.
I want some action, and I want straight answers, and I want the truth, and I want a solution, and I want it February 3rd of last year.
Families tell me they hope as attention returns to the derailment, they'll finally see some action. But based on the past year, they don't remain that optimistic. For now, reporting from East Palestine, Lauren Linder, KDKA-TV News.
And now here's First Alert meteorologist Ray Petlin with a look at your weather for the week and the weekend ahead.
Wind chills down into the low to mid 30s in most cases. Actual temperatures, they're still reading in the upper 30s and low 40s at the moment. So still technically mild, but with the breezes we have, I think it's going to be one of those nights where it feels a lot colder than what the thermometer on your car is saying. Beautiful sunset for Mary to ride off into as we have these skies trying to clear out at the moment, but we're going to have on and off clouds through the night. We have that 39 degrees with that freezing wind chill. Temperatures tonight will dip down into the mid to upper 20s, and highs tomorrow return to the mid 40s. So we are looking at a mild day again, and even warmer still on Sunday. Both days with bright sunshine, and that sunshine is going to be sticking around for a while, and so are the warmer temperatures right on through the middle of this month. It's not until later February and early March where we're expecting the next big cold snap to start coming in, but real mild setup over the next several days, and the clouds are going to start to break up, giving us some sunshine in the forecast. So what we're looking at tonight is a chillier night, down to 27. The wind chill will make it feel even colder than that. Mostly cloudy for a good chunk of the night, and then tomorrow we'll break up those clouds. We're going to bring back the sunshine. I think it's going to be a beautiful looking day with temperatures in the mid 40s. So with the sunshine coming in and the mid 40s, it's going to feel a lot better than today, even though we spent much of the afternoon in the lower 40s. Next 7, we see our temperatures up to 50 by Sunday. That's just a little taste of the 50s, and while we'll set those temperatures back a little bit Monday, Tuesday, it looks like the 50s return for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, the mid 50s even for the end of this forecast, and we have to go a full week before we see our next chance for rain.